Good evening, namaskar, and a big hello. Welcome to my talk show, Tete at Suvees Palmy, in collaboration with brand new here. Well, March being the month of women and women power, well, because of International Women's Day, we've tried to get, rather, I would say we have got women who have inspired myself personally, and I'd like to share that with all you wonderful people. Our today's guest, her journey has absolutely inspired me. And before I say and introduce her, I would like to welcome her. That's Advocate Lata Desai. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on my talk show.
Thank you, Suhani.
Well, uh, little bit of a sneak peek introduction of Advocate that is right from her childhood days. You know, we each of us have a dream when we are children. कि बड़े होके हम ये बनेंगे, बड़े होके हम वो बनेंगे. Well, her dream was to be a lawyer. And not only her dream, even her dad's dream was the same that my daughter should be a lawyer. And that's how this dream of hers became a reality. Even though in her youth, a beauty that she was, till today she is, who was socially very active, but she focused on her dream. And the best part of it is, even her marriage, it helped her fulfill her dream further. And today she is a doting grandmom and yet uh, an amazing lawyer, advocate. And yes, we are honored to have her here with us on Tete at Suvi's Power Mate in collaboration with Brand New here. So, advocate, with your permission, maybe start a conversation, a
Yes,
tete. So it's really wonderful that you know your dream which you saw as a little girl, and your dad also saw the same dream, and today we are all seeing an amazing leading advocate in front of us. So as a child, what was it that made you want to become a lawyer? Seeing your dad, or what was it?
well, one thing, my dad was a lawyer, but I
Yes.
was too young even at that time to understand what law is. But yes, I did have one conviction that I will become a lawyer. Because you see, I had three siblings. The first one was my brother, who actually should have become a lawyer. There were other two sisters, one before me, one after me. None
Right.
of them wanted to become a lawyer. I was the only one. So
Okay.
I didn't understand in those days what the profession was. But
Right.
yes, I had this in me that when I grow up, mostly girls, they always
Right.
think, grow up, I'll get married. But I
Right.
always
Right.
thought that when I grow up, I'll be a lawyer.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was a calling, you can say. I don't know, maybe I was born with that. Like they say, yeah, you're born
Yeah.
sometimes with
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
unconsciously or whatever. So when I was about 13, 14, my father used to make me work with him, in the sense at home,
Okay.
uh, his work, planes and all, he would ask me to type. In those days, I did not know typing. I used to type with two fingers. I had started under my father. And in sometimes I used to get really very tired and I
Right.
didn't want, I would do it unwillingly.
Right.
But my father said that someday you'll thank me. And I did, because that typing helped me. And
Right.
even
Right.
today on the computer, I
Yeah.
type my own drafts. First drafts I type. And then
Okay.
I give it out for corrections or whatever. So,
Right.
yes, right from that day, I was you can say I was groomed. I was
Right.
groomed. And then, my father, I must say something, that he was
Yes.
very unassuming
Mhm.
police prosecutor. He was the first police prosecutor of Bombay. In those days, it was
Yes.
Bombay, not
Yes.
Maharashtra. At a
Right.
very young age, after independence, he was selected as the chief police prosecutor. He was young then. So he was also one of the representing Bombay state he in Gandhi trial.
Wow.
So yeah, he was an eminent lawyer, but he
Yes.
never ever behaved like one. He was
Yeah.
very unassuming, and he inculcated that humility and discipline not only in me but my siblings also. So we were blessed to
Right.
have a father like him.
That's completely amazing, because in those days, when you had supportive parents, parents who would support you with your dreams, it was an absolutely big, very big thing,
Yeah,
right? And it's really great. So I want to really ask you, once you became a lawyer, which was which was that case, which really, like, got you all excited, and said that, okay, now, okay, I'm a lawyer, and now I need to, this case is really getting me, like, what I really, when I dreamt of being a lawyer, this is what I dreamt of it. So what
uh,
was that one case?
no, but I tell you, the process of getting into the system and establishing yourself
Right,
is a
right,
very, very difficult, stressful process. It's not easy to,
right.
after you can, in those days, everybody passed law. It was easy to pass law,
Okay.
and difficult to fail.
Right.
So many people, everybody became lawyers, but to get into the system and to get into practice was not easy.
So
And
to sustain yourself was
yes,
the
yes,
challenge.
it was a challenge. But then slowly, 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 I got into the stream.
Right.
And somehow my own matters, I started from the criminal courts, you see, because my father was a police prosecutor. So
Mm.
I started with the criminal courts, with the social economic offenses. I was selected as the lawyer to represent certain boards. So
Right.
I started from the lower court, and the appeals from the lower court, I myself have argued in the higher court. That is how my journey started
No,
towards high court.
okay. That's absolutely a wonderful advocate, really. So, tell us about this amazing Vargas case that it changed, in fact, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amendments that happened. Yeah.
One case which I really learned, and I feel that I've done something in this profession, was the case of Pragati was
Vargas.
Vargas, where the she was a Christian.
Yes.
Yeah. So she wanted a divorce.
Yes.
So she came to me. Now, under Christian law, the Indian Divorce Act, as it then stood,
Yeah.
the grounds for a wife to take divorce were only seven. Out of those seven, five grounds like cruelty, adultery, bigamy, those grounds were not independent grounds. Those had to be coupled with adultery. So a wife whose husband treats her with cruelty has could have only on grounds of cruelty coupled with adultery. So
Okay.
So it was very difficult because her husband was not guilty of adultery, he was only guilty of cruelty. And we can't make up grounds. I never followed that practice. So
Right.
we had to find a way out. So then I thought that why not challenge those provisions?
Right.
That
Right.
independent ground of cruelty for a wife should
Right.
be there in the statute book, because the other marriage laws provided for divorce as an independent ground, like
Right.
Hindu Marriage Act, like Prasi Marriage Act, Special Marriage Act. All these laws provided for cruelty alone, on
Right.
grounds of cruelty alone, along with other grounds. But somehow the Indian Divorce Act remained archaic till 1990, I think 7 or 8, when this amendment came. Now,
Right.
this matrimonial act, Indian Divorce Act, was modeled on
Right.
the Matrimonial Causes Act of in Britain.
Right.
Somewhere in 1837, the matrimonial jurisdiction was transferred from the church to the civil courts. And then in 1869, Indian Divorce Act was introduced in India, which was
Right.
modeled on Matrimonial Causes Act. Now,
Correct.
Matrimonial Causes Act itself underwent a number of changes from 1857 to 1973. In
Right.
1973, it even introduced marriage by mutual consent. But
Hmm.
the Indian Divorce Act remained unchanged.
Right.
It remained the same archaic law which it was as in 1867. Now,
Okay.
that is something. So then we challenge it on the ground that the Indian women are being discriminated. Now it is not
Right.
as if the community, the government, not government, the public did not try. Law commissions were appointed. Law commissions gave their reports. They recommended that Christian women are being discriminated, and this should be introduced. This law should be amended to
Right.
bring them on equal footing. But the government never, although the bills were also prepared, but they were never passed. So we came in 1995 when she came
Right.
to me, and we challenged it in the court of law on the grounds that it is discriminatory and therefore it is ultra virus the rights guaranteed by the Constitution. That is equality of law, no discrimination on sex, religion, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And we
Right.
succeeded. So it is not as if because the judgment was given, the law changed. No, subsequently
Right.
the government amended the Indian Divorce Act itself.
Right. Right.
So that is one small contribution from me.
So huge contribution.
Yeah,
Uh, Advocate, as you said, your dad was an amazingly. He was very well known in his profession, but he was absolutely humble, and
humble, modest. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and you all have carried it forward,
Yes, yes, yes.
being
Me and my
humble,
siblings.
you know.
Yes, yes.
Well, this brings me, to ask you about your children. Even your daughter Pallavi is
Yeah.
an uh, an amazing advocate and solicitor, and she's also uh, at with Divekar and company, and she herself is doing very brilliantly. And in her journey, she too has had uh, a lot of challenging times, tough
Yeah.
times,
Oh yes,
and
she did.
she's overcome victoriously over it.
Yeah.
So, if you could share a little about,
Yes. Pallavi has always been a go-getter, right from the time she was a child in school. Any race, sports day, any race, she must come first. I must come first. Right from the time she was in nursery classes. Actually,
right,
she was the best student of the nursery division from Jamnabai. From that time till law college, she was the best student every year. I can say that with pride. No, and then she was also into extracurricular activities
yes,
like
yes,
cricket, this and that.
yeah,
So she
ace
was very
cricketer,
disciplined.
yeah,
Yes. Now, in the midst of all this, when she got the problem of a tumor,
yeah,
she didn't realize
oh,
it nor did I. And after she took the Outstanding Students Award from Law College, 1 week after that, she felt very, very weak, and she had become very pale. So I took her to the
right,
neurologist, and there we
right,
discovered that she had a tumor. And with that, this girl was totally, her entire lifestyle changed. She couldn't play cricket after that. She was
yeah,
paralyzed for a long time. Her vision was also, but she fought through because she has that positivity in her. See, I will overcome that.
right.
So, yeah,
That's it's. Absolutely, and it's so inspiring,
It's, yeah,
uh,
that
and as you know, I always say that I realized that once I became a mom, advocate, that uh, when you fall ill, it's okay, but if anything happens to your
yeah,
child,
yeah.
it's the, I think, toughest period. So I
Then
think,
you ask the question, why her? Why not
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So then, seeing all of that, and the strength you must have had, the willpower which you must have had, the strong will which you must have had,
Well,
I
yeah,
think
that's true.
that's
It was
that's support.
somehow, somewhere, someone up there helped us
Yes, yes, yes. That's
get
that's absolutely. Uh, I I'm so uh, I really am running short of words where you're concerned, advocate. But uh, I'm so amazed with you. You're one woman where I've seen that it's not only about you, or it's not only about your growth. It's the people who you work with you in your chamber. You want them to grow also,
yes.
and it's I really really salute you, Advocate Desai. I really really salute you. Kudos to you. So please, could you share with our audiences
Yes,
about
yes,
that?
yes. Yes, because in our profession,
Right,
young lawyers come to us, see,
right,
as interns, as juniors.
right.
Now, my this was to teach them and not just make them do your work like do filing or do this or do that. I was a teacher first. I think if I were not to be a lawyer, I would have been a teacher
Good.
because I love that profession also. So I teach like Pallavi also, Pallavi. And
Right.
I have another junior. I'm very proud to tell everybody now
Yes.
that she
Right.
has been now selected to be a judge of the High Court. To
Oh,
me, it's a feather in my cap. See,
super,
and
super.
before that
Right,
also, there was another junior who
right,
also became a judge
right.
of the family court, and she
Ex-
retired as the chief judge of the family court.
So,
So,
oh, ma'am, totally salute you.
so
Two
my
judges from your
humble
chambers
chamber,
itself.
yes, my humble chamber has
Excellent,
given two lawyers to the society.
excellent, fantastic, fantastic, superb. That's absolutely wonderful. This brings me, to ask you. This is a bit uh, personal, um, but something about you which is I always say, when I was reading about you, and of course Pallavi was advocate Dr. Pallavi was sharing the information. You're truly a woman of substance, and in every aspect of it, I say. And I'm actually getting a little emotional, but what you did for your husband was absolutely brilliant, ma'am.
Well,
Seriously.
you see, I want to share something
Yes.
that, after marriage, generally, the woman's career goes on the back burner.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
In my case, I had in-laws who were gems.
Oh,
They helped
lovely.
me. They did everything to help me to continue with my career.
Lovely.
And a little amusing thing was that when I got married, my husband's family was going through some family partition disputes. So when I got married to my husband, I was naturally pushed into those. I was a very raw junior, but there's a
Right.
lawyer in the family field, so we have a lawyer advocate in our family. We have an advocate, so we have nothing to worry.
Yeah.
So that is why. So I always tease my husband that when I passed law, I married law, but when I married you, I was married to litigation because so but then that's what I'm
Right.
saying. They were so my father-in-law, because my
Right.
father passed away very early after
Ali,
my
yes.
marriage.
Yes.
My
Yes. Yes.
father-in-law was another this supporter, a
Right.
backbone in our family, who saw to it that he looked. I had a maid in the house to look after the kids, but he was there.
Oh,
So That way, I from the beginning I had this sort of support. And then, of course, then this thing came when my husband's both the kidneys failed.
Yeah, yes.
And in Maharashtra, there is a law that only family members can donate. We could
Right.
not go to outside donate.
Outside.
We could have gone to our other family members, but then nobody volunteered, so I also did not insist. So I decided I will give, and it was matched,
Yes.
and doctors accepted it. Now, unfortunately, it so happened that the medicines which are prescribed along with this transplants, they are very
Yes.
strong. My
Right.
husband couldn't stand those.
Right.
And he passed away of cardiac arrest in a month's time. That was a sad part, but then that is life.
Yes.
But I must tell you
Yes.
that we all have spare kidneys. I want to tell or everybody who's listening to this.
Right.
If you have it is a spare. I have not felt anything after donating. Even after my operation, no pain, nothing. Even today, I forget that I have one kidney. So I will tell everybody that when
Right.
if time does come to this, please do donate your kidney. It's a spare part. You can easily give it to any person who can live with your donation that way.
My really, as I said it in the, before, only I'm falling short of words, advocate, but truly, and yes, if all of you all are listening, please listen with with an open heart and an open mind. That yes, we do have two kidneys, not one, and as advocate says, it's one is a spare one. So if any somebody from your near and dear ones, your family member requires it, do go and help them, do go and support them. Yes, I know the fear is always going to be there, but believe me, when you help someone when they require it, the
Correct.
satisfaction that you get is of another level.
Yes, that's true.
Ever since you've come into this profession, that was so many years ago, and today's day and age, the young and upcoming lawyers, what is the difference that you see, ma'am?
Oh, yes, I do see. Today's lawyers are really very good, I should say, because they are properly trained in college. Now,
Right,
these colleges hold moot courts, and I have been invited there as a judge in these moot courts, which are competitions. These are mock courts.
right,
And I found that the students, they were not lawyers also, they were not full-fledged lawyers at all. Yet
right.
they argued their briefs like lawyers, full preparation,
Right,
everything. And I said, "Oh my God, this generation is so smart. And why go to
right.
those other lawyers? My own grandson has
Yes,
just
yes,
uh, in the moot court, the national moot court. He won the
yes,
along with his team. He won the prize for the
yes.
good court, yes. So nowadays, this law schools also take this profession seriously,
Seriously,
and
yeah.
they train their students. And I'm
Right,
sure the future generation of lawyers is going to be absolutely brilliant because they
excellent.
start out even as interns at
Right,
that level.
right.
That is the major change that I see these days.
Yes, yes, yes. That's wonderful. I think upcoming generation, as it is, I call them Gen X. They are of a different level completely. And yes, your grandson. Congratulations for that.
Yeah,
It's brilliant to see your grandchildren also getting into the profession.
yeah. So now you see
Right,
another thing about the legal profession. Time is short. I'll just tell you shortly.
right. Yes, please.
Recently, we had a webinar on the subject mental health
Right,
uh, in the law courts
right.
because the profession is so
So
stressful
stressful.
that it affects the mental health of lawyers. And we had a webinar for it. And it was
Right,
a very interesting webinar how to beat the stress.
right, right,
What are the
right.
stress busters? They
Yes.
were very clever.
Yes, ma'am, advocate, this is exactly what I was going to ask you. How do you deal with the stress?
Yeah, yeah. See,
Ah, Yeah.
I deal with the stress
Yeah.
because from the beginning, not now because
Hello.
of people who make. So, uh, my advice was
Yes.
to
Yeah.
that in this profession, don't get personally involved. Stay detached. Now
Yes. Yes.
that advice of mine, that when we had a talk, after that we had few more webinars on the same subject. Everybody
Right.
wanted to know, how do we remain detached? Do you
Right.
mean to say we shouldn't sort of you should remain detached means what? You don't take interest or what? But that is
Yeah.
not the case. You give your 100%,
Right.
but don't be elated if you win, and don't be depressed if you lose. You
So
give your best.
right.
Results are not in your hand. Now, of course, I'm not preaching Gita or something, but this is how it should be. Because if you are
Yes.
detached, your mind stays focused
Right.
and you give your best. It's
Right.
easier said than done. But you have to do it if you want to remain in this profession without any mental
Yes,
issue.
absolutely, absolutely. And after so many years of experience, advocate, of course, whatever you said is absolutely correct. So it's nothing that no sort of preaching at all. It's your experience which is supporting them and helping them. Well, today is indeed a very very special day. Where in Advocates family we have a little grandchild who's it's what's your name, dear? What's your little one's
Just
name?
call him, call him. We sent him back because he was getting a little fidgety. We just call him back because
Yeah, yeah,
once
yeah,
you bring the baby,
yeah. So it's Advocate Desai's grandchild's birthday today too, and she's on our talk show. So we are all going to sing happy birthday. And
wonderful.
today, yeah, today indeed is a very very special day too, because it's today is World Water Day, and I want to send out this message to everyone who's here with us. Please, this is the time. Do your bit where water is concerned. Save water, save lives. And here is the birthday. Special child, happy birthday. What is your
Yes,
name?
thank you.
Hello,
He's
hello,
feeling
hello.
shy.
Ha- Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to
Say
you.
thank you, baby.
It's what? It's second birthday, right?
Yeah. So he
Oh,
doesn't talk as yet. He doesn't
I know. Yeah,
just
yeah. And any new face, they don't want to, they take
yeah,
a little
that's he's
while
feeling shy.
to. So once again, thank you very much, Advocate
Thank you
Lata
so much
Desai. It
for
was
inviting
the
me. It was an
most
honor to be on your show.
no, no, please don't. It's the other way around. It was an honor to have you on my talk show and for you to give us your valuable time and such amazing insights. And as I said it, you're truly a woman of substance, and
Thank you.
we salute
Thank you.
you. And
Thank
before I go, as I always say, stay safe and be positive. If there is anything worrying you, please do not keep it bottled up within you. Do find a friend who you can trust, your inner circle, talk to them, communicate it, or to a family member. Because by discussing, you can solve the problem. And you never know, somebody else may be facing the same issue and you can help them too. But if you keep it bottled up, it's only going to harm your health. And as I say, if you take care of your health, you can take care of your family. That's right. So thank you once again.
thank you.
Do log on to my YouTube channel, Dr. Suhani Mentonsa. Do like, share, subscribe, and yes, comment, as your feedback is indeed very valuable. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, Advocate Lata Desai. It was great, great. One of my best episodes and best tete that I've had. Extremely inspiring.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye bye. God
Bye.
bless.